Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to our brand new mini series called Perfecting Priorities, where we are helping Muslimahs make sure that we have the priorities in our life in the correct order, insha'Allah. Before we begin, don't forget to download my free printable planner on www.cupofparenting.com/planner. This is the last and final episode in our series. My name's Aisha and I help Muslims succeed without overwhelm. So let's have a little recap on the series so far. So first we looked at the 3 circles of a Muslim's life. So we've done that one. Then we looked at the pyramid of priorities. We've done that one. Today we're focusing on the wheel of daily balance. So this time we're really coming to hone in on what you do on a daily basis, inshallah, in terms of your priorities to make sure you're getting them right. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at the wheel for today. So here we have our wheel of priorities, subhanAllah, and it's divided, as you can see, into 6 quite unequal parts, and that's deliberate. So when we look at this pie chart, I'm going to divide it into different parts of your day, inshallah. So just as a wheel helps a car move smoothly, balance in your daily life, inshallah, should help you move forward with more peace, with more barakah, inshallah. So let's start off with faith. We've talked about this in the previous 2 episodes, and this is the biggest part, of our pie chart here, because I feel like it's just so important, as I've mentioned already. If you think about your 5 daily salah, if you think about your adhkar and you're reading your Quran, inshallah, and your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and having that at the back of your mind throughout your day, from the moment you wake up and read your morning waking up dua, adhkar, to your daily adhkar throughout the day, and then when you go to sleep at night, inshallah, if you're hopefully reading your night dua as well before you're going to sleep, then that's your faith part of the day. Even things like starting all your tasks with bismillah, that all counts. Saying istighfar when things go wrong, or just making istighfar anyway, that it's good to be doing things like that. So faith isn't something that's separate, it's something that connects the wheel together. So just imagine that part I took out, the rest of the wheel would be massively incomplete. So that's how you've got to think about your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and your faith on a daily basis, inshallah. So if yours is smaller than this, think to yourself, why? Is it because you're not offering your 5 daily salah? Is it because you're not doing any adhkar? Is it because you're not making duas, even the little duas when you wake up, when you go to sleep? What is it? Have a think about that. Okay, then we have your family, which is also quite big. And I didn't mention this in the last 2 episodes, but most of you know I have a psychology background, so I'm always thinking from that perspective as well. As human beings, we are social creatures, and we do need other people, okay, to survive. That's why, if you think about it, the worst type of prisoners, what do they do with them? They put them in their individual holding cell. They make them have solitary confinement because it drives a person mad. It's quite literally a punishment. So subhanallah, as social creatures, we do interact with people on a daily basis, and those interactions actually help us psychologically, mentally, emotionally as well. So that's why we've talked about the family in the last 2 episodes, but here I'm talking about how family isn't how long you spend with these people, it's how present you are. Remember, we talked about how your relationship is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then how that naturally flows into how you are with your different family members, with your children, with your spouse, what you're talking to them about, how are you talking to them, how are you showing up every day, based on your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, and how you're doing things together with them. So for example, reading Quran together after Maghrib, or talking to your children before bedtime, or having one meal every single day where as a family you sit together, you say your dua and you talk about your day. So these kind of things is what I'm talking about, how you show up as a Muslim, inshallah. So when we give our families, our presence, it's not just the leftovers from the little bit of energy that you might have left. You build hearts that are connected through love and mercy, inshallah. Okay, let's move on. Then we've got the self-care. Then we've got the self-care segment. So what are some of the things you can do on a daily basis? Remember, we're talking about on a daily basis. Are you drinking enough water every day? That's like a really obvious one, but I know lots of Muslims neglect that one. So are you drinking water mindfully? Like, you're thinking about how much you're drinking. Are you going for a walk or just looking out the window or surrounding yourself with plants? I did a whole episode on this and the importance of it, subhanAllah, just so that you're feeling fresh and refreshed. Are you reading something beneficial that's just for you? So, or like even in the night, are you just spending a few minutes, or in the morning, just doing a little bit of journaling, like a couple of points if you're like a super busy person? Just think of a couple of things to be grateful for, and that's it, so that you can practice gratitude in that way, subhanallah. So all of these things are about self-care, so try and do at least one, if not all of these things, if you can, on a daily basis. And remember, when you fill this cup, over here, it overflows into the other areas, and you're not serving others from exhaustion. Okay, now let's look at the next part, and the next part is our home. When I'm thinking about a home, I'm not talking about like the actual physical decorations in your house. It does not matter about those things so much. I'm thinking and talking about things like, is your house a house full of barakah, basically tranquility, peace? So is it a clean environment? And I'm not, again, saying that everyone should be spotless all the time. A house obviously is going to be lived in, and it should look like it's been lived in. That's what my dad used to say all the time, subhanallah, because you're going to have situations where it's a little bit messy, but what are you doing to create peace in the home? Like, how are you showing up in the house? Is your house one where, people are reading du'as, there's calm rather than chaos? It doesn't matter about the clutter, but as long as you keep it reasonably clean to your standards, that you can do. And if you have, for example, children, are they helping you keep it nice and tidy? So like I said, it doesn't have to be spotless all the time, but are you involving them in the cleanliness? If you've got a space specifically where you do your salah, is this a nice clean space? Have you kept a nice clean space for yourself? Because that'll help you at the end of the day feel better and feel refreshed. If you walk into a room that's hopefully clean, and try and get the kids involved in that cleanliness. Get your spouse to help you as well, inshallah, if you can't manage to do it all yourself. And there are some days where it's not going to happen. Some days my house is a bit of a mess as well, subhanallah, but then I always get the children involved and we try and clean it up as best as we can. You're going to have off days where you're not feeling it, or you're feeling ill, or you're feeling exhausted or tired, if you've gone through a bout of illness, for example. So it's not going to always be like this, but try and think, subhanallah, how you can create that peaceful home for you. Have you got Qur'ans readily available that you can read? Is it nice and like a homely environment for yourself? No matter the size of the space, that's not even important. But what is important is that you feel comfortable in there, because you're not going to be able to do any of these things if you're surrounding yourself in an environment that's not a productive environment for you, because it's, either it smells, or it's super super dirty, for example, or it's not adequate enough. So think about those things, inshallah. Like, if you do need to make some changes around your home, try and make those changes. Even things like having dua charts on the walls so that children can access those easily, so it's easy for you. And then when you walk in, you can see that it's a house that belongs to Muslimahs, because, as Muslims, we keep our hearts clean, we keep our environments clean as well, we keep our own selves clean. So thinking about those kind of things when I'm talking about the home. And remember, the reason I'm saying all of this is because your home isn't just your four walls. Your home is your emotional environment. Okay, subhanallah. So this is why these things are important. Okay, then we have our work and our learning that go on. Seeking knowledge, okay. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ said, seeking knowledge is compulsory for every Muslim man and woman. So obviously, as a Muslim, you should try and seek knowledge of Islam as much as you can. And have the right intentions when you're doing all of these things, and say, I'm doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But also, maybe it isn't just that you're learning Quran and Arabic. Maybe you're learning to do a certain skill or job so you can support your family, or you can serve the community, subhanallah. Or even you're learning a skill for your self-improvement. Remember, we talked about self-care. So whatever it is, make sure you allocate a bit of time every day to do this, depending on your own self, like what's realistically possible for you to do, inshallah. Obviously, you have proper goals, and within your long-term goals, have short-term goals. Within your short-term goals, have daily goals. Like, for this week, Monday to Sunday, what is it that I want to have done in terms of my Quran or in terms of this particular skill, and how am I going to do it? And you know what? Learning keeps your mind alive, subhanAllah, no matter how old you are. When I used to teach ladies in the masjid during the Saturday class, honestly, a lot of them were older than me. They were probably more my mum's age, but that didn't like put me or them off, because I used to say to them, it doesn't matter at all what your age is. Learning keeps your mind alive and active, and when you do it with ihsan, subhanallah, it brings barakah into your risk. So think about it like that, that I'm trying to invest in myself. I'm trying to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, insha'Allah. And then last but not least, we have our daily rest period. Usually for most people this is in the night, can be in the day, if you have time to do some khairullah, but it's when you obviously have a proper time to go to sleep. Now I've already done a video on routines of night and routine of the day, and you can go and watch that if you want to, but it's super important that you do have a proper routine and that you get proper full night's rest, subhanallah, because this is where your body goes through renewal. And if you haven't rested properly, you know yourself, if you have a bad day's sleep, what happens the next morning? You don't wake up feeling refreshed or refined. So really think about your sleep routine, what you're doing before you're going to sleep. What are you saying? Are you reading your du'as? Are you thinking about your adhkar? Are you being a little grateful for a few things that have happened through the day that you're grateful for, subhanallah? Are you showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And are you feeling organized for the next day, inshallah, that you know what's happening tomorrow, what tasks you need to be doing? Or even if you're having a rest day, a chill day, do you know what's happening tomorrow, inshallah? Think about those things before you go to sleep, and make sure you're sleeping in a proper comfortable environment. Don't neglect this and say, oh, it doesn't matter, because this is honestly something else that I hear when I'm doing my coachings, that people aren't sleeping properly, or they haven't got their children into a proper routine, subhanallah, so that's impacting them as Muslimahs. Honestly, I can do a whole another video on that. But alhamdulillah, once you get that sorted out and you're getting proper rest, then that should also have a positive impact for the other things, because then for the next day you've waken up nice and refreshed, inshallah, and you can start the day productively. So I hope this series has been useful for you, inshallah. If it has, why not watch my other series called The Balanced Muslimah? Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.